Welcome to sorry, welcome to Subramani. Many of us are empty nesters, and some are going to become empty nesters soon. When I say empty nesters, it means you are about in your 50s or 60s. Your kids are going away or gone away or going to go away soon. Your parents have either have either died, or you are in a position where you are providing them some kind of care. Maybe they're staying with you, maybe they're not staying with you. Like for example, my mother stays near my sister's house, and last 20 years she's been staying in there, give or take a few years. She's been staying there, which is a senior citizen home, and she's enjoying her life there. It also means at 85, she's independent. She does her own grocery shopping, she does her own vegetable shopping, she does her own cooking, she washes her clothes, and she lives there, and she lives with a maid who comes just for cleaning the vessels and some sweeping and swabbing which she does. And once in a month she gets a complete cleaning of her room, because of the fact that I shouldn't say room, her house, because it's a nice house. It's a 1 BHK and one bedroom hall kitchen, and that's nice. She lives there comfortably. Now the question is, at this stage, none of us are considering all this, because we are saying, oh, we are pretty independent. But only when you deal with somebody whom you push out your 18-year-olds and 22-year-olds into their career. That is not very emotional, because you know, okay, they're going and they'll come back, and it's not really a final bye-bye, because even if they are abroad, they keep coming once or twice a year, and today, thanks to phones, videos, you literally see them on a weekly or a monthly basis, whatever, depends on the frequency which you want, right? So but then when with your parent you're providing them with help for their old age, you wonder what all they can do by themselves and what they need help for. Like for example, my mother can handle everything, including taking pictures on her phone and sending it, watching YouTube videos, forwarding interesting clips, all that she does. And she's 85, and she's taken bath in every river in the country, right? All these things she has done, and she leads an active life. 2 months ago she was in the Narmada trying to take a dip, and my sister said, no, it's too slippery, don't go there. And her brothers, sisters, etc. are all active, and there is absolutely nothing to feel bad about by us. Only thing is, we need to know that we need to prepare for the next 30 years. And when you are seeing these older people and helping them, and sometimes getting inspired by them, you realize one thing, that retired life is not just one page. The retired life at 60 is very different from at 70 and 80, at 90 and at 100, and you could all live till 100, right? So then being prepared for those things, not just financially, but also physically, mentally, all that, being prepared for a lonely life. Somebody who loses his spouse at the age of 60 could live till the age of 90, which means 30 years you're going to be without a spouse. Is it worth getting married again? Whatever, all those questions have to be answered. The question is, where do you want to live in your old age? Do you want to live in a gated community where you are sure that you will get good care, but you're not very sure whether the food will be good? Are you going to live in a gated community and say, okay, the food here is not great, but I'll get food from outside? There's always Swiggy and Zomato to fall back on for services like that. Once upon a time, if you stayed in a place, you had to eat food from that place, but today you have a choice of getting food from outside thanks to Swiggy and Zomato, assuming that Swiggy and Zomato are entering that service in that place, right? So some of those things you have to take charge of. You have to make your own call as to how you want to deal with this whole thing of living from your 60 to 90, which also I split it into two parts. Very conveniently, it is 60 to 75 and 75 and above, right? Because at some stage you will want to just a place where there is small help available to you. You're 65 years of age, you don't want to climb up on a stool and change the bulb and fall down and break your hip and suffer with that for 2 years. So you call somebody who would come and change the bulb for you, and small time assistance, right? But you don't need any great assistance in banking and things like that. You're perfectly capable of doing online banking, etc., etc. somewhere when you're 75, I'm just assuming 75 is just a number. It could be 72 for you, it could be 78 for your elder brother, it could be anything different. But I'm saying at some stage you want more hand holding, saying, look, I'm not very confident of doing the banking myself. I'm of a particular age, I don't want to do the banking. Not that I will make mistakes, not that I have made mistakes, because I see people, older people, trying to do some transaction, making mistakes, and then wondering how to correct it. It's not going to be very easy in this country correcting mistakes which you have made. So find out what all you need to do, find out how you change, because something else is changing. Because when you're 60 years of age, you and your parents are in good shape, let's say your parents are 80 and in good shape, and they don't need much help, you don't realize how life is going to be difficult for us, especially for those among us who don't have children, which means you have to make all these arrangements yourself, right? If your kids are around, they will help you. I have an aunt who lost she had two sons, she lost both her sons before her, right? Last 6 years of her life she lived without her children, but luckily for her, her daughter-in-law was around to help her. So these kind of things happen. How many of us are ready for such a long life of loneliness, such a long life of not knowing what to do? Will you marry again? Will you not marry? All those questions have to be answered, and those questions may have to be answered now. If you want to marry somebody, how protective are you going to be of your money? Will you take a big annuity and say, look, nobody can touch it, not even me, I have taken an annuity? Here the annuity is more a defense plan than a necessity. Annuity is very useful for very many people who don't know how to manage their money, and it is not very useful for, actually does not really matter if you're very rich, because you have some manager managing your money. But if you're doing self-management, I would still suggest annuity as a product, simply because you don't want to complicate your whole portfolio. It's okay to have a complicated portfolio, but at least have one thing which assures that you will get an X amount every month. So it's that so looking at which products to buy, where to live, how to support yourself, how to seek the help of younger people to support you, which is the home where you want to go and live. For me, I more or less decided, if I am living in Pune, I would live in the same place where my mother is living, or if I were to go to Coimbatore, I would go there because I have a couple of cousins there, so maybe I'll go and just live in the same colony where they are. But I have to take those decisions in the next 5-6 years. Until then, I think I can continue to be where I am. So answering all these questions is important before you retire. Answering all these questions while in retirement is also necessary, because at 60 you cannot see the problems of a 90-year-old unless you're supporting a 90-year-old. Suppose you have lived abroad all your life and it's your sister who took care of your mother and father. You hardly know how it is to deal with older people, right? Suddenly you're on the other side, you have no clue how to handle it, and you don't know whether you want to come back to India, you want to settle abroad. You have to take all those decisions and then take a decision on retirement. So don't be in a hurry to retire unless you have answered many of these questions. Thank you.